All right, let's dive into something that feels like it's been pulled right from a sci-fi movie, but it's actually becoming our reality. We're talking about AI-powered diplomacy. And the huge question here is this going to be our ticket to world peace, or are we about to open a massive Pandora's box?
Just think about it for a second. Peace treaties being drafted not by people, but by algorithms. We're talking about code that's built to find the perfect compromise, totally free from all that human emotion and messy historical baggage.
And it doesn't even stop there. What if ceasefires were negotiated by machine learning? Models that can process battlefield data, social media sentiment, all in real time, just to pinpoint the absolute perfect moment to call a truce.
And get this, the really big stuff, those geopolitical crises that could literally lead to war, imagine them being diffused, not in some high-stakes tense meeting, but by lines of code.
Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds pretty far-fetched. But here's the kicker. This isn't science fiction anymore. It is happening. Right now, AI is already in the negotiating room, and frankly, it's moving way faster than most world leaders can even keep up with.
So, that really brings us to the heart of what we're talking about today. Is this new player on the world stage here to save us from ourselves, from our worst instincts? Or is it about to make everything just so much more complicated?
Okay, so to really get a handle on this, we have to meet the new diplomat. From the Pentagon to Brussels to Beijing, governments everywhere are rolling out AI, and it's completely changing the game.
Think about it. Nations aren't just up against other armies or economies anymore. Nope. They're competing with algorithms. And this new player, well, it doesn't sleep, it doesn't feel fear, it doesn't buckle under pressure. And it remembers everything. Every single negotiation, every treaty, every broken promise. All right, let's look at the bright side for a minute, the optimistic view. Could this, non-human intelligence, actually lead us to what you might call peace by algorithm? Because the potential here is honestly staggering.
So, let me paint you a picture. Imagine two countries locked in this bitter dispute for decades. Human negotiators, they failed over and over again. So, they bring in an AI. It runs millions, literally millions of different negotiation scenarios. And then it finds a path forward that no human had ever thought of, a real win-win. And just like that, an algorithm proposes a peace plan that might actually work.
Sounds amazing, doesn't it? But hold on. This is where we have to ask the really tough question. Is this a brilliant new tool for peace? Or are we just putting blind faith in something, a black box, that we barely understand?
And this isn't just some hypothetical scenario. AI is already being used in diplomacy today. We're talking conflict prediction models that scan satellite images and social media, simulators that game out how a negotiation might go. AI is even helping with trade deals, suggesting compromises and writing treaty language. It's happening.
So yeah, we've crossed a line. There's no going back. We are officially in the age of algorithmic statecraft, an era where code is directly involved in making decisions about war and peace.
Okay, so we've seen the promise, the utopian side. But now we have to flip the coin over and look at the Pandora's box problem. Because for every single advantage AI brings to the table, there's a pretty serious danger that comes right along with it.
And this really gets to the core paradox of AI diplomacy. On one hand, the promise is that it can get rid of human bias. But the peril? It could just amplify the biases hidden in its data. Sure, it makes negotiations faster, but its decision-making can be a complete black box, totally non-transparent. And yeah, it might prevent a conflict, but what if it gets something wrong and accidentally starts one instead?
And believe me, the critics are sounding the alarm, and loud. They're worried that AI could be used to subtly manipulate negotiations, that authoritarian regimes could weaponize these algorithms. They're worried about a new kind of AI gap, where some nations have a massive, unfair advantage. And maybe the biggest worry of all, if an algorithm makes a catastrophic error, who do you blame? Who's held accountable?
So all of this leaves us at a major crossroads. We're staring down two very, very different futures for how countries interact. And the choices we're making right now, they're going to decide which one we get.
Look at the two paths. On one side, you've got a potential utopia. AI helps draft climate agreements, it enforces ceasefires without bias. But on the other side, you've got a dystopia. AI-generated fake news, fueling conflicts, autonomous systems, escalating tensions, and humans losing that critical gut feeling, that judgment, in the most important decisions imaginable.
And here's the bottom line, the really crucial point.
We are completely rewriting the rules of international relations. But the problem is, we're not actually writing any new rules to govern the technology itself. The tech is just moving way, way too fast.
Which brings us to one last, really big question that we all need to start thinking about as this tech gets woven deeper and deeper into our world.
You know, the stakes really could not be higher. On the one hand, AI could become our greatest peacekeeper ever, solving problems we thought were impossible. But on the other, it could be the most dangerous negotiator we've ever seen, taking us places we never, ever wanted to go.
And that's because, for the first time in all of human history, diplomacy isn't just about nations talking to nations. It's now about humans talking to machines.
So that leaves us with this one last thing to chew on. Knowing everything we've talked about, the incredible upside and the terrifying risks, should AI even have a seat at the diplomatic table? Is it time, or are some things, especially conversations about the fate of all of us, just meant to stay human?